Your emotions, when they come, when they are made use of, when you say, okay, at least they come, it wasn't a nice feeling, but something good came out of it, there is awareness of that. When people come and they push your buttons, and then somehow you flare up beyond your control, so to speak, there is an awareness about that. There's awareness that even after of the emotions arising and the apparent one who is suffering them, okay? Now, the one who is suffering or having the emotions, okay? Is there any space behind that one? Is that one just what you are? Or you say, this is happening to me, this me sense of you. I would put it that is just, this is the way you think you are. This is the idea you have of yourself. I don't know if I'm getting through with this. But your emotions, good or bad, nice or not nice, are observed in you. The reactions to them also are observed in you. Their comings and goings are observed in you. You cannot be them, because if you were your emotions, when they go, you would also be gone. So something is here to observe the arising potentially of emotion, the strength they may happen with, and also their departure. You understand?
Yeah.
That which is observing or is aware of emotion is that emotional. Just this point. Your emotions, they come up, they flare up. Maybe very quickly, or you may find that something is coming to the boil slowly.
Yes.
There's an awareness of that. No?
Yes.
You can feel, actually I need to go for a walk because I'm getting really upset here or something. No? So there's an awareness of that. I am looking at the awareness itself. But let me talk on a bit. So a feeling is coming, maybe a rage or some anxiety or something is coming to the surface. There's an awareness of it. It is so loud, it's so toxic, maybe you can say, in its experience, that you've formed a strong identity with that. You may say, I'm a very emotional person, and if you start to speak like that, I'm very likely to get angry or something. You may speak like that. If I say, the emotions, the emotional waves, they come and they go. You are not that which comes and goes. When the emotions come, you feel, oh no, I can't take this, is too much, and you get identified with them. But when they go, they are gone, and you are still here to witness, oh no, I'm fine now, that has subsided. So that which is aware of the coming of the emotion, the play of them, and the departing of them, that is not an emotion, is it? The awareness, does awareness come or go? Or is it that things come, appear in your awareness, and they come and go? Well, yes, and this is the power of attention. Attention is one of your powerful tools, that wherever attention go, you're calling that your experience. That's why when the emotions come, a lot of attention, a lot of energy goes to them, and because the energy is so strong there, you say it overshadows the awareness itself. But it can only be there because awareness is there anyway. There cannot be anger or emotion without awareness. We use the term awareness like awareness of. And I use awareness. Awareness and awareness of. Awareness of, you can say, or conscious of something, is a dynamic activity. Now, I'm conscious this is happening. But there must be what I call the root awareness, that which makes you, in which you come to know that you exist. You come to know you exist. You see? That is always stable and present. It is not personal. It itself does not get upset. Something gets upset. The dynamic consciousness that has become identified as a personal entity experiences the emotion. They clash together. And the one you take yourself to be is the one that says, oh, this is happening to me. And this identity, this happened to me and I can't take it, everyone accepts to be themselves. Okay? But it is not a stable state. There is something in you which is much more stable. In fact, not much more stable, it is stable. And it is here that I'm inviting you to pay some attention to it. If you succeed in really recognizing it, you will see that this is the true self. This is your true self. When that is recognized, not just mentally, but you experience that, but this is a fact, that's what I am. The emotion and their consequence will subside for you. Because the emotions are being registered for the person you take yourself to be. The consciousness has adopted personhood as its location. It reads personhood as what it is. It feels that is the fact of who I am. Whereas when you wake up to the truth, that person becomes the fiction you thought was yourself. And that becomes very clear for you. The one who is saying, how can I experience that true self, is itself experienced by that true self. Please, it takes a little moment. We're going to come to an end in a second. Just give it a little bit more attention for a moment. The one who is saying, how can I get more in touch with that stable awareness? Because this one is presently accepted to be the evidence and the fact of my existence. But I'm asking you at the same time, this very one who is saying, or this saying, how can I get in touch? If you take out the apparent one who is saying it and just look at the saying of it, the words, how can I get in touch with that source awareness and become more like it? Is that not also just some words and emotion and identity appearing because the awareness is there, appearing in the awareness itself? Ooh, can anybody see this? Yes. When I say, yeah, you say, yeah, how can I get more in touch with that root self? How can I? And it sounds a very noble desire. How can I get back to that place where I'm not disturbed by these things? You see? And I'm trying something, I'm saying, but even the words you're speaking, the emotion with which you speak with, the intention that you are speaking with, all of that also is perceived as phenomenon, because this moment, these words being spoken, these feelings being experienced, all will subside, including the strength of the identity with them will also pass, like clouds passing. The awareness in which they appear and play and disappear is not passing. This is the root of my pointing. When grasped, this single understanding will combust into true spiritual knowledge in you. And all these things that appear to be rights and wrongs in you will have a different quality about them. And when will this awareness appear? It is already right here. This awareness does not appear. It is always here. Other things appear. And that's why you can admit everything is appearing in you, including this present state of consciousness. If you woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, at 6:59, what was your state? You had no name, you had no gender, you had no religion. At 7 o'clock sprouts the consciousness which you later will call the waking state. The waking state must have appeared in something that is already here. That I call the awareness itself. The waking state consciousness arose, and in it, the history and memory of yourself and everything, both the experiencer, what you will experience, and the very functioning of experiencing are all the play and the content of the waking state consciousness. Have I gone too far? So actually all of this waking state you are perceiving. Just like right now you know you're conscious. And if someone hit you on the head and you, whoa, whoa, I say, you okay? So he said, I'm losing consciousness. Something is even witnessing, I'm losing consciousness also. Maybe that's going too far right now. But what I'm saying is that you are that awareness itself. But because of the conditioning imposed upon you, when you came into form, you appeared in the form, the first appearance of yourself was the knowingness, the feeling I am. That did not come immediately at the birth of this body. In fact, this body is not the body your parents birthed. It is also a development. That feeling, the feeling I am, the untaught way of being aware that you exist, the sense I am, is the announcement of this awareness in its dynamic form. Can I say again? When the feeling you have, I, when you say I, actually I is your most intimate and true name. And I implies consciousness. I am. Am means to be. I am means I, consciousness, exist. That's the dynamic consciousness which has the capacity to identify with the instrument that it's appearing in order to taste the phenomenon of experiencing. So this I feeling is impersonal. I call it the child of the absolute. Absolute means the pure, unaffected, attributeless awareness, which you may have heard me speak of as Nirgun Brahman. What you come to see through listening to the invitation earnestly. As soon as that is recognized again, that stillness, unchanging, unhappening awareness is recognized, then everything begins to fall into place for you. All your dynamic actions and so on. You will experience that all the movements are taking place in the stillness that you are. At present, very few people are aware of that stillness, because once the consciousness identifies with person, the person identifies with activity, desire, attachment, projection, dream, all these things. And that's a busy world. And it's so busy, and it's so trying to make do and to manipulate the manifestation to be in a shape that it can be happy with. And whatever you manipulate the manifestation to be cannot keep that shape, because it's a dynamic thing. And because of that, you are not been for a long time attracted to your timeless and unchanging state. Although that was always here. That is the only part of yourself which is not changing. And in this life, by coming here, is the chance for you to recognize the unchanging in you. It doesn't mean you're going to die, but the lie in you will die. Either suddenly or gradually. And it will be an excellent death. Meaning, you will enjoy being liberated from the delusions and the distortions of the psychological identity. Right now it is possible also. Right now it is possible. That's what I'm pointing, you see. I say all the things that come, the things that came a few seconds or minutes ago, that came up and flared up and was quite strong for a moment, which in turn gradually subside and move along and is witnessed or observed to have gone, now to be replaced by another movement or perhaps silence. And that silence, if there's silence, would also be observed in you and enjoyed in you. And then maybe replaced by another feeling. But that still place in which they come and go, you must come to know consciously. When you know it consciously, I will ask you, does that come and go? And you will have to admit it does not come and go. Every other state, including the waking, the dreaming, the deep sleep, and the awareness of yourself, there are states that are rotating. They are rotating states. And they're rotating in that which is not rotating, that I call pure awareness, or the Nirgun Brahman. Is that a complex set of concepts? They will not be complex when you understand them. They are not just for mental entertainment or spiritual entertainment. They are pointing directly to you. And it becomes increasingly easy, enjoyable, and natural as you're coming into the recognition of what is timeless in you. This is why we do the exercise, and then to ask you, is there any time here in this place? And people confess, there's no time. Is there any season? There's no season. Is it hot or cold? No, there's no temperature. Was it born? Does it die? It does not born. It cannot die. Why? Because you are in direct experience of that truth. It is that I would point to. However many times, however often people come and they talk about this thing is wrong, that thing is wrong, and so on. Of course we can listen on that level and say, well, maybe you stop going to these places and blah, 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 blah. And that's okay at some level. But higher than that is to point you to that which you are. And initially we are lazy for that. There may even be some resistance that comes up, or suddenly the mind is lazy. You know how many times I've sat here and I've said, just pay attention to your breath for a moment, but don't attach anything, and suddenly people go into sleep. Why? I am not throwing magic powder in their face. Why? As soon as we begin to guide in a powerful way, the mind cuts out. It's like a kind of resistance happens. But if you black out like this and somebody came inside from outside and say, who's got that red Volkswagen outside? It's on fire. Whoa. You'll be gone. It's not a true sleep. What am I pointing to? That there is a kind of resistance that comes initially to the invitation to wake up to the truth. Don't take it too seriously. You just keep staying with what you're pointed to, and you will overcome all these things. Because we primarily won't be attracted to this kind of understanding at this level, and this is the highest understanding, I'll put it, in the human kingdom. Because it's waking up to the truth. It's not putting you into a place of dependency, attachments, fantasy, all these things. It is directly known. Therefore, you came and you spoke one thing about the emotions, and we heard, because everybody have their other things. Somebody may say, my thing is the fear of being alone. Another one will say that I keep telling lies, or whatever it is. You say, I have this thing with emotion. I like to get a hold of that. I want to overcome that. I say, why not overcome the whole thing? Why not overcome the idea, the limited idea you have of yourself also? It will not harm you to know this. In fact, you are naturally and by nature happy and always and pure and kind.